Starting off on our new map, Tide Hunters. And the big question, of course, at the very beginning, Starbuck, what race does he get? And he's getting human. And that means Todd is going to have a lot of insights for us as to what to expect and what not to expect.
Actually, I won't, because he's opening Pala Rifle, which I never ever play, so... No, Starbuck is actually very good at this build. I saw him do it very often, in particular against Orc. And I think he had quite a bit of success, actually, when he did it. Like, I saw him win some games against Grubby. But now against Undead, it's entirely different. I think Happy is very good against that style, now that he's had to face Thorzane as many times as he did. But Starbuck is counting on the surprise effect here. And we see already a scout with an Acolyte from Happy fairly early. I wonder if he would maybe prefer to want to play with more ghouls in the start, like we've seen him do last time he played against Thorzane, and then get Frenzy. But now he's already gone for the graveyard, and he will see basically everything there is to see. He sees the blacksmith, he knows it's Pala Rifle from there, and he can already start formulating his entire game plan to win this game.
Yeah, I think it's not too painful for Happy. There are some matchups where the Ted Fiend build, which is what we see here, really isn't that great. For example, against the Cryptload Fast expansion. But I think this would be the opening that he also plays against Pally Rifles all the time. And look at this. Happy sells the TP, goes for the Sacrificial Skull. On Tide Hunters, we have the easiest fast expansion natural creep route ever. And Happy's gonna go for a fast expo against Human, which is something that has been popular against Pally Rifles for a while. But I don't think I've ever seen Happy play.
Yeah, one thing that's important to note here is that players that play random, they often kind of have to go into cheesy style. It's very hard to know the late game of every matchup on every map. And I feel like there's a bit of danger for Happy to do this now, because Starbuck, I assume he's going to scout at some point here. And when he sees this, if he decides to, for example, go for a workshop, you know, in the center of the map, and then do a big push towards the expo, it's going to be super hard for Happy to hold against this. So I'm not 100% sure that strategically is the right choice here from Happy. Obviously, he's extremely good, and maybe he knows better than me, but Starbuck went for the quick tech, kind of like Thorzane does. And he's already going for the scout here, so he's going to know very early what's happening.
Yeah, you mentioned Thorzane very fittingly, because Starbuck, he was practicing with Thorzane, or perhaps getting coached by Thorzane for his possibility of playing human. So it's not too surprising to see him here playing this style as a Paladin gets level 2. Militia reaches the expansion, Narrow Tower about to be up. The Haunted is a little bit delayed. What Happy could have done is cancel the graveyard for more resources, but he decided to get up the graveyard, and it's going to go quickly into Fiends. That is going to deal way better with these rifles than Ghouls would, and the expansion soon to be mining, lots of Fiends to be coming out, and it seems like Starbuck, under pressure already, staring down an opponent with higher supply and more economy here very soon.
Yeah, he was going to start a scout tower near that, actually he started a scout tower. Near that expansion here, that's a big tell that you want to be aggressive. Ooh, very nice Holy Light here. Well, the coil was going to be thrown towards the Peasant. The Peasant should fall anyway. Ooh, he was going to go for Holy Light, but doesn't go through. Yeah, so Happy seeing this now, this is a very big tell for him that there's going to be aggression coming. Like, nobody makes a tower like this here if they don't mean to actually attack sometime soon. And at this level, the players are always able to recognize that. But Starbuck, once he gets that Blood Mage out, I assume it's going to be a Blood Mage check, and his fighting capability in this game is going to be huge.
Yeah, Blood Mage with the Siphon plus level 3 Paladin really pumps this strat into overdrive. 5, 6, maybe 7 rifles with some upgrades does become quite strong already pretty quick. I wonder what second hero Happy's going to go for. He's got lots of options, but they're all far away. Something that a lot of undeads like to go for is Pit Lord, to have the cleave AoE damage against the Rifleman, so not, you know, every single one can be getting healed when it's getting focus fired, but it's spread damage. And the Crippler is also very much non-reliant on mana, which is important against the Siphon. But Happy's going to lay tier 2 for a long time. Goes double crypt, staying on tier 1. He's just going to spam Fiends, trying to hold at the expansion against the push, which should be coming at some point, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Starbuck doesn't have a ton of lumber right now because he went for a scout. He's sending out another Peasant here. I think he might try and make an Arcane Tower near the Expo and then just kite with rifles all the time, like all the way back. That's what I'm guessing this is for. Yeah, get Spell at level 3 here. Some good mana items. as well. And yeah, once the Blood Mage is there, you just want to fight a lot. We see long rifles already on the way. I would have thought that it'd go for maybe some sort of workshop at the expo, but Happy did the thing where you only make a Nerubian tower. So if the opponent overcommits on mortars, then he's wasting a lot of time trying to push something that in the meantime you just counter by getting a ton of units out.
Perfect level 3 timing here for Happy. Gets it just barely in time. And here we have the tower. I think also a shop could be great here for Starbuck for some clarities and such. Coil against Holy Light Exchange. Paladin took a decent bit of damage here already. More and more aggressive Holy Lights. Paladin's mana's dropping low, but of course the Blood Mage will be coming in shortly. This tower doesn't seem to be finishing, and I wonder, might a shop not have been better? Because damage is also starting to stack up here now on these riflemen.
I love that Starbuck used all of his Holy Lights, because now Blood Mage shows up and he's going to bring him back, that Paladin back to full mana. Then he's going to start stealing the mana away from the DK. And if you look at the Nerubian Tower and Ziggurat position for Happy, nothing's going to help his front buildings. So for Starbuck to siege the main base is actually super smart. He can just get on top of the units, maybe attack the altar after that, attack the crypt. Right now he's trying to get some good trades against this massive army of Happy, who's got a lot of fiends. And actually the Blood Mage is going to go down.
Oh, big mistake there. Happy finds the weakness. Blood Mage getting surrounded by everything. The Holy Light there, not good enough to save him. That's going to be much more mana now for the DK over time. Also going for the Ritual Dagger. A bit of healing here for him as well. Some ghouls went down, yes, but all fiends still standing. 1-0 upgrades on them already. Would love to see another armor upgrade here for these fiends as well. And Starbuck is in a lot of trouble. He went for the Tavern Revive on a level 1 hero, but everything's low. He doesn't have any source of healing. Still no shop here. And I feel like Happy has pretty much held this already.
Yeah, Starbuck's getting +2 attack here. It's very close to finishing. It's going to be key in fighting effectively here, but everything's low, like you said. The shop was just super delayed. I think the Blood Mage died with a lot of mana, by the way. So he didn't really give as much mana to the Pala as he should have. And now Happy is about to score some big kills here on those rifles. They have so many fiends. They're still very healthy. Starbuck tries to eject and get back. But because he has the expansion already running, it feels like Starbuck is going to be in a world of trouble from there. And he's just going to tap out.
And that's a quick GG. The cheese, as you were expecting, the Pally Rifles doesn't work out. Happy with a good scout, good adjustment, just fast expansion, delays the tech, just spams the fiends out one after the next. And we could see the damage being spread. At some point, all the rifles had like 100 HP, and you can only Holy Light so many riflemen.
The Emperor shows up in shape, I would think, and that's an exclamation mark and a raised fist to all the people who say, Happy always plays just one strategy. Man, he can just play tier 1 mass fiends. That was pretty new. I've not seen that from him pretty much ever. And we saw right after the game, pretty much no emotion. He saw that win coming quite a bit ahead, I think.
It's a shame that Starbuck kind of YOLO'd in, you know, like he just went inside of the base a little bit recklessly and then got that Blood Mage surrounded. I really feel like this push had big potential. If you would ask Starbuck if he could resume from that position what his chances would be, he'd probably tell you, I think I had very decent chances of winning that game, but you overextend one time, you make one single mistake, that's what Happy's waiting for the whole time, because he doesn't make many himself. And Starbuck got punished big time. Once he lost that Blood Mage, he was always going to be in big trouble. Happy with a solid hold here in game 1.
Definitely, and not shaken at all. Maybe Starbuck needs a little time to get into this tournament. He doesn't have too much WarCraft 3 tournament experience to his chest, and if things will go differently, we will tell you after a little break, and then of course we have probably a new matchup as well, as Starbuck has to continue to play random. We'll see each other in a bit. 1-0 for the big favorite here, and we go on to a map that we are very familiar with. It's Amazonia, and we are ready to kick things off again.
All right, we'll spin the wheel once more. Which race are we going to get, ladies and gentlemen? Which race are we going to get? This would have been the perfect map for Pally Rifles, right? You get level 2 right away. There's no way the Undead can fast expand. And normally, once you have level 3 Pally, you can control the middle pretty well. But Tidehunters, perhaps the worst map to get human for that Pally Rifle style. A bit of bad luck for Starbuck, perhaps. Amazonia can also be a good map for Night Elf, but Starbuck doesn't like playing Night Elf here. For Orc, with Farseer Headhunters, it can be decent. If he gets human, you know, with Pally Rifles, as we just saw, perhaps doable here. I think this should be a better map for Starbuck, or perhaps it's just the optimist in me speaking.
Yeah, Remo, we know you're always the optimist. Amazonia, we're waiting for the game to kick off. We already started it. In a couple of seconds, we'll go there. Man, Happy, it's... for the majority of 2020, he was on that #1 spot of the ELO ranking. He has a pretty big fight with Lin now over that first spot. And of course, big results here would give him quite an edge in that race. Lin, we will see him next week in the Asian part of this tournament. And finally, we have landed, and we are very curious, what race did Happy land on? That is not very curious. What race did Starbuck land on? We move over to Amazonia.
And indeed, it is Night Elf, which at first glance seems pretty good for Starbuck. Amazonia has always been a great Night Elf map, with that Ancient of War creep being so efficient early that I know especially Todd is a big fan of.
Absolutely, yeah. How does Starbuck play here? Do we see like a keeper into Demon Hunter, you know, like standard play? Like I said, usually random players, they have a lot of pocket strategies and pocket builds that they like to go into. So I'm not really sure. Even though Starbuck is capable of playing a standard game, does he actually feel like that's what gives him the best chance against somebody as strong as Happy?
Yeah, honestly, going into this match, the weeks ahead, I would have thought Night Elf would be one of his best matchups, because the Keeper Demon Dryad Expo strat is a really, really strong build against Undead, even against Happy, as we saw Foggy beating him a couple of times with that. And it's not that complicated, really. It's sort of like a recipe. There's a couple of things you gotta do, and you're not supposed to mess up. But if you follow the steps, it usually works out pretty well. But Starbuck says this is his worst matchup in the random versus Undead. This is the one he's really not feeling confident in. And he told me that here he's going to try to cheese, I guess you could say again. He said that he sees his best chance with the Mass Air style, the old school Keeper into Mass Fairy Dragons, with an expansion.
Yeah, you say it's easy, like just like a recipe. I don't think you've ever seen or tasted anything I've ever cooked. You could give me the best recipe and the best coach in the world. Gordon Ramsay himself couldn't make me cook something that's edible. So yeah, it's definitely in the technique as well. You need to apply yourself. And Starbuck, I guess, if he wants to play that style, it's most likely going to be with a Demon second, even though the Panda, like, it's very tempting to go for Panda right now with how good it is. Usually you kind of have to go Demon second, and it's all about being able to set up the expansion. And where that second camp is that Starbuck is starting right now, that's usually where you'll make your main, or I guess your tree that you will take the expansion with.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's normally not too much that the opponent can do about it. Happy did open ghouls on this map, as we were expecting. Here you can just creep so efficiently that it's hard to say no to ghouls, especially with the kobolds in the middle, and perhaps also the trolls. You can get a quick level 3, oftentimes even faster than the Keeper's level 3. Keeper now playing aggressively the first time. Didn't sip from the Moonwells on his way into the middle. Perhaps a slight mistake there. He doesn't have that many spells to use. And Happy's asserting dominance right away. He's not afraid of threatening something with these ghouls.
And there is not going to be a expansion here. It's 2 Ancient of War, Hunter Soul. Starbuck wants to do a Huntress into, I'm guessing, Ancient Protector push of some sort here. And he was probably counting on the fact that Happy would rush like this with ghouls, so he can hold and then counterattack. But Happy, is he going to be able to see? Starbuck detonates. Okay, it's very suspicious. You don't want to detonate for one single skeleton. I think Happy should already know something's up. He sends a follow-up skeleton, and he will see Night Elf still on tier 1. And I think Happy should know what's happening from there and just play more conservative and get ready for the aggression that's going to head his way in a bit.
Yeah.
He's even checking for AP with a ghoul.
In the main. Did you see it though? Yes, he did. At nighttime, of course, you have limited vision, but Happy sees it in time, and Starbuck is in so much trouble. He's not level 3, there's no expo coming, and this AP push has been sniffed out super easy.
Yeah, I mean, from there, like, if you're Starbuck, it doesn't even feel like you could even ever transition. Like, what do you even do? Like, do you stop tech, like, that far behind? I mean, no, you can't. I think you just kind of gotta stay the course and try and still go for it somehow and hope that Happy makes mistakes.
Yeah, good luck with that. That doesn't happen too often. This round certainly wasn't botched. He gets the Huntress. Oh, doesn't have a dust though, so might be able to actually fight his way out here. Keeper looking for another kill. He needs that level 3 really badly. Should be getting that ghoul here, which isn't too shabby. Reveal coming through from the lab. The Huntress is going to go down. That's big experience for Happy as well.
He's still in hold position. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Happy making some small micro mistake for a little bit here. Gonna be able to secure himself another Huntress. Yeah, there's the ghoul at the lab, so he can use Revelation again. Oh, the Huntress breaks out. Happy's making mistakes. He's gonna lose another ghoul in the main from that one hunt.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening at the same time. Huntress in the main, ghoul at the lab, so lots of screens that Happy had to deal with, and he makes a little bit of a mistake, doesn't get the Huntress kill, but gets to surround the Keeper, forces the TP. That's dangerous for the Keeper as well, with Coil Nova coming in soon. He might be in quite a bit of danger, but there was some kills definitely going to Starbuck, right? There was 4 ghoul kills in total. I'd say it's looking a little bit better than game 1, maybe. But as you touched on, his tech is just so delayed, man. This is like a 2-minute disadvantage on the tier 2. That's a disaster. We see an expansion coming up now, but that also is far from fast.
Yeah, and Happy is immediately gonna get level 3 as well from that merchant here. Looks like Starbuck, if he had known that Happy was there, he might have wanted to go there. But I think he's going to try and get level 3 himself, maybe with this Murloc camp. Starts the tree where I mentioned it was going to be earlier. So he does plan on expanding there eventually. But yeah, Happy's tech difference here is just so insane. Happy not being sure whether there's going to be a follow-up all-in. I think he's playing it conservative now. He just goes for Slaughterhouse, added Lich, and he didn't rush for that tier 3 himself. Actually, he doesn't really have much lumber right now because of all the ghouls that he had to fight with and lost.
Lich getting entangled. An opportunity for surrounding a hero kill. He closed it right away. DK's coming from the north. He got the telestaff. Is that in time? It should be. Another question is, who's in danger here, really? Entangled on the Lich again, but he should be surviving. There is a dust now. Even transferring some health items onto the Lich to make him more survivable. Lich is gonna live through this, and more Hunters are going down at the least 2, perhaps even 3. Oh boy. And that was something that Starbuck couldn't afford with how much of a deficit he was already feeling. At least that Huntress gets away, I suppose. But now the tier 3 starts, and Happy still looking very much in control.
It's a deny here with the Lich. Very nicely done. Starbuck, his tech's about to finish. He bought a Shredder, so he had to use a lot of Wisps. Remember? Like, he detonated a whole bunch. He started an AP that got cancelled. So I kind of like that move. Especially because, like, if he can set up that Expo, he can just transfer a lot of the Wisps that he has on number and maybe keep just one to make more Moonwells. Demon Hunter now starts. Yeah, it does feel like it's really late. DK is already over level 3, has a mana potion. And Happy, we finally see him start tier 3 himself. And is he the best player, the best undead player out there against that air style?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Normally, when Happy reaches level 4 DK for the level 2 aura, no fiends will die anymore, ever. Is usually the way it goes. But we're not going to see tier 2 air. We're going to see tier 3 here by Starbuck as well on only a couple of hunts. This is certainly greedy. A push coming in soon could end his life, but I think Starbuck has to risk something. What exactly that is? Marksmanship archers or bears is still left to be discovered. But Happy's going to continue to scout. He's going to see the expansion soon. And Happy with tier 3 and orb, this is where he really comes online.
And this should be the demon leveling alone here, technically. You really want to try and rush that guy to level 3. Tree will almost be in position here in a second, so he needs to head there. But usually, that's where Happy will stay on top of you here and not let you creep, not let you expand easily. Like Amazonia, definitely one of the harder maps to set up that expansion on. And we have double Archer starting and an Enchant of Wonders here for Starbuck. So it does look like he wants to play that heavy Enchant of War units style with the Hunts and the Archers.
Very hard to make work. It's very positioning based. We have seen it successful in the past with players like Lawlight, players like Moon, although that was with much better early games. But the idea is you have a huge tier 3 Archer army, the focus fire is super strong with a couple of Orbs of Venom, later a Potom, and the Demon Hunter putting in the big burns. But the undead army is always going to be much faster, so being out of position with this style, very dangerous. Starbuck is definitely walking a tightrope right now, but as mentioned before, he had to take some risks, and it seems like finally he's going to have the time to creep the expansion now, perhaps.
And Happy, as soon as Black Citadel completes here, Destroy Form, Frenzy, he wants to get all of these upgrades that he's going to need to fight with effectively. Especially, he cannot wait to counter that Keeper here with the Destroyer. Like, as Undead, you know, you have to wait until you're tier 3 to finally be able to get some sort of Dispel going. Now he knows he's facing Entangle level 2 and Trance as well. But yeah, this Undead army with the Orb now just feels so much stronger immediately. And Happy usually, he's got the best 50 supply push out there against the Night Elf expansion, which always has to be there. It's so hard to play one base, so this is what we should be seeing. Sometimes he even expands at the same time, and now he throws down the Necropolis. And the expansion, looks like.
Yeah, interesting. Happy oftentimes goes all in with the push against the Night Elf expansion. He's going to go for a Tinker, he's going to all in push you, and most of the time he's going to win. But of course, it comes with a little bit of a risk. If the push doesn't work out, oftentimes you lose the game right there. Here, Happy looking much more patient, much more willing to go into a long game. On the first map, we saw a fast expansion. Now we see a late counter expansion. But it shouldn't be too late. In fact, Starbuck's expansion isn't even going to mine too much faster. As Happy, by the way, as so often, got some sick items. Big Mana Potion, Sobi Mask, Village not looking too stacked, but not too bad either. The Demon at least got level 3 finally, but Happy's just gonna ignore him. Runs right past the Demon, and these ghouls are just so much faster than the Archers.
Yeah, gonna be able to secure an Archer kill. There is Staff of Preservation, so Demon should be safe. No Star-Shaped yet, Remo. You're gonna have to wait for the 4th match today. We saved the best for last.
Is it Star-Shaped though, or is it Orc-Shaped? That's gonna be the question for later. Nova into the Hunts. Those die quite quickly now. We do have one staff. We do have one Orb of Venom. With more staffs, with more orbs, perhaps upon them, this Night Elf army would become a lot stronger, but it takes some more time. Time that Happy's going to use wisely to get the expansion up and running. This one's not going to be cancelled anymore. Acolytes are already in position. And Happy's going to just poke a little bit. He's going to apply a bit of pressure, see what he can do here. But he doesn't even have to do serious damage with his little attack.
Yeah, worst case scenario here is he would have to Town Portal, I guess, if things start going bad. Invul does not quite dodge the Death Coil here, so Demon Hunter is very low right now. He's got a Healing Scroll he can use. And yeah, he's going to have to use the Staff of Preservation now. It seems like Happy is welcoming of these longer games where, you know, you have to expand. I mean, obviously, he's still trying to finish Starbuck right now, but we saw him play some pretty long games against Lawlights in the WC3 Champions playoffs. And now again, like, just taking that expansion, flexing his macro muscles, snipes the Demon Hunter. He's like, yeah, I'll expo and then I'll finish you immediately after anyway.
And very smartly, he realized the staff was still on cooldown, so he just pops the mana potion, takes out the Demon Hunter with a good old Coil Nova. And now, without Demon, without mana burn, there's no chance anymore. Starbuck calls for the GG.